Well, this bites to load. Our ship's destroyed. Everyone's possibly dead now. And, well, I'm slightly peckish. So ain't that just a thing, ain't it? Ain't that just peachy? Hey everybody, welcome back to Subnautica playthrough. This is, well, it's still the early dev build and all. The Aurora had just detonated. Most of the fish seem to be kind of sitting there. For some reason, I might as well grab a few bites to eat while I'm here. Come here, you peeper. Interesting fact to learn about peepers and stalkers, actually. If you hold out peepers and nearby stalkers, they will proceed to grab the fish from you and then treat you a little more passively for a bit. So that's the thing. In this episode, we're going to get pace power up in line and then get some more up online and also a few other tidbits of things. First, let's get us a bite to eat. Head back to the pod. Resupply on hunger and all. Yeah, the usual. And then we'll be on our way to start working on base and eventually getting to the Aurora. Okay, so some interesting facts here. As I said, some of the creatures I addressed in the previous episode, such as the Sandstalker, is actually called the Sand Shark, and its purpose is to, well, just be a threat, as any other creature is in this game. On that note, some of the things that I'll be doing in this episode are going to be pretty simple, but pretty simple. It's just going to be gathering quartz, so I may be fast-forwarding during this, I don't know. Either way, what we're trying to do is at first get our hands on some quartz so we can build power for our facility, and potentially get our hands on some more silver to build some wiring kits and computer components, so that way we can make ourselves a fragment analyzer. There should be something in our blueprints here about it. It is a... yeah, here it is, fragment analyzer, wiring kit, and a computer chip, so we're going to need 3 pieces of silver. That will allow us to basically analyze the sea moth fragment and the stasis rifle fragment and convert it into usable blueprints. In the experimental version of this, you would need to create a scanner that you hold in your hand and then proceed to locate multiple fragment pieces, about 3 each, I believe, and analyze them with the scanner. It takes a little longer than, or actually it doesn't take as long as with the fragment analyzer does, but at the same time you have to also risk yourself by moving around.
Warning, 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Yeah, as I said, they're called sand sharks, not sand stalkers. Another thing that's going to be done is the yes, let's see, we're going to get our fragment analyzer up and running. We're going to get a few things up and running like that. If you heard that, don't mind that. That's just Skype being derp. Let's see. I can't really think of anything else that's going to be done during this episode. We might start working towards the sea moth once we get the fragment analyzer up and running, but that might be a bit. Let's see. The sea moth is our most basic sub. In short, it's our most basic sub. Its sole purpose is just for faster movement in the world. It's nothing too special. But it can be upgraded later with once we get another fragment. But that fragment's going to be kind of harder to locate. But yay, we have solar power now.
Power restored. All primary systems online.
Each solar panel will add, I believe, a 50 power cap to the thing, but the more solar panels you have, also the less power certain devices will take. What I'm referring to is the factor of
10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Right. What I'm referring to is the factor of the what's the word I'm looking for? Well, if I can think of it. Basically, if you notice here, we're only using like 5 units of power every time we use the fabricator here. With only 2 solar panels attached to the base, we would be using 10 units of power out of 100 for every crafting. So there is some frustrating bits of usage when it comes to that. But now that we have our base, we can actually, if I hope, apparently we can't. I guess that way in case you're, normally you'd be able to deconstruct the fabricator by holding the E key, but it doesn't look like you can anymore. Mostly I think so you can still use a fabricator if somehow your bases got destroyed.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Normally you'd be able to deconstruct the fabricator. I guess they have updated that factor. Okay, when it comes to base being in your base, now that we actually have, well, are in here and we have power, we can now construct the useful equipment we're going to need to help survive. For example, when it comes to, well, storage, there are plenty of ways to store supplies. Well, there's only two to be sure, but lockers are your best bet. You can be placed mostly anywhere in your facility, and can hold a nice amount of material. Now, what I'm going to need to be building here, hopefully, is a... if I can find it. If I can't find that, it's no biggie. Okay, I can't. What we're going to be building soon is we're going to be building a deployable fabrication depot, but first we're going to need to get our hands on that silver. Hello, little air sac. You are my friend now. Together we shall destroy the world. So listen, audience, I'm kind of actually curious what you think about this game so far. And what you think about the entire idea of this undersea survival. Dried from under his nose. Because some people have different ideas about this game, because the fact it's kind of like the idea of Stranded Deep, you're surviving in the middle of the ocean. I find this game much better in some ways than Stranded Deep, mostly because of it's not as realistic, but also there's a reason why it's not realistic, because of the futuristic setting and all. And I like it for that. I mean, you might not like it for that, but you're entitled to your own opinion, so I won't argue if you... Oh yes, bone sharks. These guys are nasty. They will not stop chasing you. And they are curious about lights. If you want to keep away from them, throw some flares. Which can only be made after you access some crashes, unfortunately. But yeah, bone sharks are nasty pieces of work. They will pursue you if they see you, and they will not stop till they can take a bite out of you, or you can somehow scare them off. Personally, the former might be the worst option. Well, the former is the worst option, but at the same time, it's probably the only option, because these guys love to pursue. Are designed to pursue. If you heard that hissing, that's because those are bleeders. Bleeders, well, as the name implies, they bleed you. They love blood. Can't get enough of it and all. Unfortunately, they guard fragments sometimes. Stasis rifle. Not what we need, but I guess it'll do. Oh, there's a sand shark there. Gotcha.
Warning, 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Now, if you run out of oxygen in your tank, by the way, there's no need to immediately worry. You have a small time from running out of oxygen before you need to get to the surface. And this is kind of like a passing out idea. And what happens is you simply just respawn back in your life pod, but you lose a handful of the items that you were that were in your inventory when you started. Well, when you left your life pod. So what the life pod does, both leaving and entering and exiting the pod, will just secure your inventory. So if you're really interested in trying to cheat the system, you could technically build a micro base here and there. It doesn't even need to be a functional base with power. You just need to be able to enter and exit it, and you can secure your inventory before quickly deconstructing it and going back on your merry way. You could also use it to restore oxygen, even the greatest of depths. I guess when we get to more base building, I kind of explain how the base building mechanic works more in-depthly.
Warning, 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Yeah, computer, I know. Fortunately, getting at these greater depths, you might want to actually do this trick I just mentioned a second ago, provided you have the titanium and glass.
10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Because I believe in the builder, you only need, like... Yeah, if you just carry like 4 pieces, or 8 pieces of titanium and a piece of glass, then you should be fine when it comes to oxygen. Provided you leave yourself enough time to actually construct the base fast enough. Because like I said, you need at least 8 pieces of titanium, which is not that hard. I mean, 2 scrap metal and you're fine. It's most of the glass because you need to keep a piece of glass on you at all time and all. Depth, aside from just
30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Aside from just implying a longer distance when you're deep sea diving, you also have to worry about depth in the sense of the farther you go down, the more pressure that builds. And also the more nastier creatures that are down below. Depth does 2 things. When in your suit, your depth will prevent you from, will basically make you use more oxygen up as you, dive deeper and deeper. And, at this depth, there's no real hazard, as long as you're in white numbers. Once you get low enough, then the numbers turn yellow. That's where they start getting a little more dangerous. Because at that depth, you start using up more oxygen. At red depth, you start using even more oxygen up, and on top of that, ow. Biters are no big threat if you use your knife actively. We're close to them. Not all big creatures are dangerous in this game. If you heard those whale-like noises, those are reefbacks. They are the most passive creature in this game and only have 1 predator. Unfortunately, that predator is also the only thing in this game that can instantly kill you at the moment. They might release more creatures that can do the same thing. Either way, the reefbacks are the largest creatures in the game next to the Reaper Leviathan, which is their predator. They are about as passive as a leaf. I don't know. That didn't look friendly. Yeah, you can see why sand sharks are aggressive. They don't pursue you too far up though. They don't like going to shallow depths. Or higher depths. Also, that thing was a spike trap. Those things will actively throw spines at you and your subs. So watch out for that. And all. Certain creatures and like most enemies that you fight don't really give you anything. The stalkers are the only creatures I know of immediately that can give you something. That's kind of a passive drop anyway. They don't actively drop it when you kill them or anything like that. Even still, killing them would be kind of dangerous. Let's see what else. At this depth, we will be encountering the workbench, by the way, the fragments for the workbench. These things will allow you to make more upgraded variants of some of your current equipment, such as better fins. Yeah, such as better fins, lighter or even better capacity O2 tanks, etc., etc. These basically are, as I said, they're just improved variants. You can also use it to upgrade your knife, and eventually even build something, upgrade the propulsion cannon, an object we can get later in the game.
Warning, 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Now, unfortunately, I'm not equipped at all for going to that deeper water, the more open expanse. We don't even have the Seamoth yet, and we need the fragment analyzer if we want to even start building the thing. We're getting kind of close here with the surfacing.
Emergency. 10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
When it comes to going underwater, by the way, there is no real need for, no real need for swimming at all. Also, I'm checking my timer right now. We're close to our time limit. I really should correct myself what I said earlier. Basically, when it comes to swimming, there is no real speed difference when it comes to being above or below water. There's no speed difference. The only speed difference is if you're holding something in your hand. And also if you have fins equipped. That is all. But like I said, we're running close to the end of our time limit, so I guess next episode I will meet you back at the base, and we might have a few more amenities in stock as soon as we start the next episode. So that has been all. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys next time.